did you survive again today? Opening his blurry eyes slightly, Gulingua smiled somewhat self-deprecatingly as he struggled to sit up from the ruins that exuded a strange smell, but contained nothing but people. Suddenly, I missed the garbage I threw away in the Golden Age. Those people really took the green chemistry and circular economy that I dreamed of in the Golden Age to the extreme. In today's era, there is no concept of garbage at all. They are all misplaced resources. If you don't join an organization, if you have no use value, you won't even be qualified to survive by picking up garbage because there is no waste at all. Living is the greatest gift. It's ridiculous to say that she, Gulingua, was able to survive until now not because of the family she was once proud of, nor because of her complacent professional level, but because on that day, the day when the world completely fell into madness, before she could react, the mentor she once respected the most captured her into the laboratory. If it hadn't been for the sudden wave of beasts, she might still not be able to leave the laboratory, where her whole body couldn't stop trembling just thinking about it, and she wished she could be crushed into pieces and stuffed underground. Even now, she still remembers the moment after the beast wave, when she was dug out of the rubble by the organization she now belongs to. Those people really looked like angels at that moment. At that time, she really felt like she had found her faith. She swore to the contract master, without hesitation, that she would always be loyal. It's a pity that there are no real angels in this world, and in the last days, the next day, they angels found her and asked her to restart her experiment that even the devil would not do. They actually said that this was related to the survival of the entire human race. Hee hee. Don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. How could she possibly agree to repeat her nightmare on someone else? She is human, not a demon. She refused, without hesitation. Then she was thrown into the number 2 engineering department, which was called engineering department, but was actually a coolie camp. They told her that if she figured it out, she could find the person in charge and get the treatment that a technical talent deserves. They are not afraid of her running away, nor are they afraid of her betrayal, because the ability awakened by that adult is a contract. Once you have sworn an oath in front of him, don't think about breaking it. Those who break the oath will enjoy the pain from birth to death because of the degree of betrayal. Gulingua didn't know if it was due to the influence of nuclear radiation. In this world, many animals have mutated, and many people have also mutated. Some have become better, some have become worse, some have died directly, and some have died slowly. Some people have awakened their power, and some have lost their lives. There is always more to lose, and awakening is not necessarily a good thing. Gulingua's mentor, who is now missing, is also a member of this organization. She didn't know it before, but now it's useless for her to know. She still remembered that her mentor often told her at the beginning of the inhumane experiment that it was all for her own good. If the experiment achieved a breakthrough, she would immediately become a god. To this, she just wanted to say, "It's so good. Why don't you try it yourself?" Number 2 to 333. Why are you still sitting here? The organization does not support idle people. One day in the number 2 engineering department is a day's work. If you can't stand the hardship, go to the science and technology department. The person who spoke was not a supervisor called team leader, but an ordinary strong coolie. Just because the adult promised that whoever could persuade her to restart the experiment would be promoted to team leader, he worked hard and softly from morning to night to find a way to get her to leave. Gulingua didn't say anything about this. After all, as a group leader, he could have 2 meals a day. This was a good life that coolies could not refuse, and they generally don't dare to go too far. After all, people from the Ministry of Science and Technology are not people from the coolie camp who can be offended. Just like yesterday, she got up from the ground with an expressionless face and walked quickly into the construction site. Anyway, when it comes to eating, I only get a few pieces of synthetic food that I don't know the taste of at the end of the day. Now she just wants to slap her hypocritical self who shouted to diet and lose weight every day. If she didn't eat more at that time, now she can't eat even if she wants to. Entering the construction site, a blurry picture suddenly flashed in front of Gu Lingyue's eyes. A somewhat familiar person slipped and fell from a building under construction. She ignored the scene and didn't think she had awakened any power. She thought she was probably hallucinating because of hunger. Even if he was so hungry that he had hallucinations, he still had to move the bricks and do the hard work. You cannot be useless in this era. If it really can't be moved, it is more likely to be waste utilization. Gu Lingyue couldn't imagine what the so-called waste utilization actually was. Anyway, she had never seen those people who were dragged to waste utilization again. Numbly starting the day's work, Gu Lingyue now feels more and more that such a life is not impossible. Anyway, it is just a little effort, but a little hungry. People, it's always easy to be satisfied. Speaking of which, except for those neighbors, no one seems to have persuaded her to restart the experiment recently. Did those people find other technical talents who could restart the experiment? It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with me anyway. Gu Lingyue worked numbly while doing heavy work while diverging her thoughts. If she didn't think about anything, she might not be able to persevere. After all, her life was too boring. Life. You can restrain my body, but you can never control my mind. My mind is floating. Time flows. I'm moving bricks. Bang! A familiar dark shadow passed in front of Gu Lingyue's eyes, drawing a beautiful arc and blooming a gorgeous flower on the ground. I blinked out of habit and did not look at the gorgeous flower. Someone would take care of the flower anyway. Anyway, every once in a while, someone in this place will turn into a flower, and then even the flower will disappear. She has become numb to this, and they will not live long anyway. But one will leave first, and the other will come later. She has now learned to explain herself. As long as it is not done by herself, it has nothing to do with her. She is not wrong. It's everyone else's fault. She is right. In the apocalyptic war, she is just a technical consultant. She has never killed anyone with her own hands. She is not guilty. She is a good person. She has always had her own bottom line. She has always been just an ordinary person who is powerless and has some knowledge, an ordinary person. When the school organized donations in the past, she never failed to do the good things she should do. In the apocalyptic battle, she only completed a few small projects. She just put forward a few irrelevant ideas. She just. Alas, why is this world like this? Chapter 2, Contract. The beautiful skylight spilled from the gaps in the dim curtains, slanting a path of light. In the darkness that could not be reflected by the light path, sat a young man with deep eyes. He is one of only 10 awakens of this organization, the Covenant. Contract is his ability, and now it has become his name. He sometimes thinks with some self-deprecation that except for himself and a few old friends who are still alive, it is estimated that no one will know his original name. It doesn't matter, as some people say, the name is just a code name. Contract can become Contract Master entirely because of his ability. Before the end of the world, he was just an ordinary junior high school student. Now he is only 18 years old. If it weren't for his special ability, he probably wouldn't be able to get into the middle of the organization. The Third World War is also called the Final War by some people. In this war, mankind kicked itself off the altar. It's funny to say that all of this is because of the interests of the majority. The young man quietly looked at the light path in front of him. If nothing happened, he would stand in the darkness and watch the light flowing quietly. This would make him feel peaceful and a little bit of illusory hope. Sometimes he hates himself. Why can't he awaken his abilities earlier? If he becomes a contract before the forbidden weapons are used, is it possible for those guys to stop the war? It's obvious that we only need to sign a contract and have a good discussion. Why should we fight to the death? Some benefits are nothing compared to the end of the world. If he had a choice, he hoped to live in those eras where there were no forbidden weapons. At least humans would not destroy themselves as easily then as they do now. Except for humans themselves, no creature can threaten humans, but in the end, humans themselves brought themselves to an end. How ironic. Master contract. We found another group of survivors. An untimely voice, but one that the boy had been waiting for a long time, interrupted the tranquility of the contract. How many people are there this time? Are there any awakened people? Are there any malicious intentions? Contract, as usual, stood up immediately upon hearing the news of the survivors. His ability is contract. He can use the contract situation to bind those who swear a promise in front of him. This is one of the main reasons why this organization can maintain order for so long after entering the end of the world. In the last days, what every large organization fears most is a loss of order. All the top leaders of this organization, including the contract, believe that humans can only survive the difficulties by hugging each other in good order and keeping warm. Everything they do is for the human race. There are more than 50 ordinary people and one awakened person. The situation is not very good. The leader has already gone. A guard wearing a body armor and carrying a submachine gun stood at the door anxiously. When the contract came out, he quickly followed. Why don't those people want to join our organization? They want to build a small base outside the organization and establish friendly diplomatic relations with us. Hearing the contract, he raised his eyebrows. Then let them build it. Anyway, with my ability, as long as the basic principles of peaceful coexistence is signed, they will not be able to attack our organization at will. Have we never seen such a small organization before? The guard followed, even more anxious. The problem is that they are different. Aren't they all human? What's the difference? Contract, he said casually without any care. The guard was even more anxious, but he didn't know how to describe it. It's just different anyway. If they don't join our organization, they should be eliminated. Hearing this, Contract frowned and stopped. Xiao Wei, your thoughts are very dangerous. Stop carrying guns these days and go to the construction site to calm down for a few days. There are not many humans left. The guard blushed and looked at Contract, wanting to say something, but in the end, under Contract's gaze, he angrily handed the gun in his hand to other people nearby, said yes angrily, and left. Staring at Xiao Wei's back, Contract still didn't frown. This person was not like this in his memory. He shouldn't be such a dictator. The idea of exterminating if you don't join is really too extreme. Although they no longer belong to the military, they are still under the red flag and grew up in the golden age. The original goal of this organization was just to keep warm in the apocalypse. Having personally experienced mankind's transition from the golden age to the end of the world, they should have a deeper understanding of the meaning of win-win and peaceful coexistence. If there is no unnecessary conflict, it should never happen. We are all human beings. Is there anything we can't sit down and talk about? After thinking about it, he walked to the entrance of the organization's reception desk. Contract looked at the middle-aged man sitting on the steps, smoking one after another with a tired face, and was stunned. Chief! Whether it was because the contract walked his sunlight or because he heard the call of the contract, the middle-aged man whose hair was already mixed with white hair quickly put out the unfinished cigarette in his hand, coughed dryly, and carefully put the cigarette in his hand back into his pocket. Are you here? Well, I'm here. After Contract responded subconsciously, he vaguely felt that something was not right. He shook his head and threw away some inexplicable thoughts. No, Chief, what are you doing at the door? And the group of survivors? Where are those people? Not paying attention to the person in front of him, the middle-aged man stood up covered in dust. He's gone, don't worry about it. After speaking, he patted Contract on the shoulder. Under Contract, disgusted look. He stepped on his old leather shoes that he had worn for 3 years and walked towards the organization's only 5 five-story high-rise buildings without any hesitation. Looking at the back of the leader, Contract was a little dumbfounded. His tent had only been here for 10 minutes. Who can tell him what happened in these 10 minutes? Whether it's joining an organization or building a small organization around it, shouldn't he be allowed to witness it? He is the Minister of Foreign Affairs. In this end of the world, a contract without his witness is completely non-binding. Contract, whose mind was a little confused, was sorting out his thoughts, and he caught up with the leader and grabbed him. Wait a minute. I'll always be waiting for you. The leader stopped calmly, turned around, and grabbed the Contract's hand with a serious look on his face. I'm going. What the hell? Let go. I won't let go, even if it's the end of the world. The leader continued to look at the Contract affectionately. Seeing that the leader had turned gray for the sake of the organization, Contract took a deep breath, resisted the urge to punch this old friend, and looked at him expressionlessly. Don't try to get away with it. Chapter 3, Crazy. When he arrived at the construction site, he happened to see 2 people carrying the body and leaving quickly. He knew that there had been rumors circulating in the No. 2 engineering department that all kinds of people died and their bodies were made into food. But he knew that this was impossible. Although it was the end of the world and there was a serious lack of food, the organization was not so short that it regarded people as food. The purified land can still grow some food, and the various methods of rapid ripening and synthetic food developed by some shady businessmen in the Golden Age are also a way to satisfy hunger. Unless absolutely necessary, normal people would not treat people as food reserves. However, the message from the No. 2 engineering department is not completely groundless. After all, although the organization does not make corpses into food, it still uses waste. Many of the experiments being conducted today are inseparable from corpses. There are also many intact organs from corpses. As long as the transplantation speed is fast, there is still a chance to transplant them into living disabled people. After all, the purpose of the organization has always been for the living humans. So there's nothing wrong with reusing waste after people die. It's just a pile of organic matter anyway. He shook his head, threw away those messy thoughts, and strode towards the brick-moving team. After all, he knew nothing but fighting and moving bricks. Huh, that woman over there seems familiar. Frowning and thinking for a while, he seemed to remember that this seemed to be a survivor dugout from a laboratory site that was attacked by a wave of mutant beasts a week ago. I don't know why she is extremely resistant to restarting the experiment, which is obviously an experiment that is expected to solve the problem of human beings' difficult survival in the end of the world. Another self-righteous, self-proclaimed guy. While thinking about it, he turned towards another brick-moving point. Anyway, There are many parts of the construction site that require manpower, so there is no need to be with annoying people. After wiping a sweat, Gulingua raised his head and looked in the direction of the person who had almost reached here, but suddenly turned around and left. He frowned slightly, but said nothing. When she looked in that direction today, gray and black images flashed before her eyes several times, and every time she wanted to go there, every cell in her body seemed to be warning herself. After hesitating here for a long time, she finally decided to just move bricks here today without exploring what would happen there or what was there. But there shouldn't be anything there, right? After all, she saw that the people there were no different from usual. Maybe it was really because I was too tired and hungry that I was hallucinating. While thinking about it, he shook his head. It would be good to have something to eat in these last days. It is said that most of the soil outside is contaminated and cannot be planted. Only here, an awakened person with the ability to purify can have clean land, grow some plants, and barely sustain life. Huh? Is it a little darker over there? Dark. Gulingua was startled by the sudden words beside her and quickly turned her head. It was a middle-aged woman who was wearing slightly cleaner clothes than her. Seemingly sensing Gulingua's doubts, she explained again, I see you always looking over there, and I want to see what's wrong there. I looked there several times, and it seems to be getting darker every time. Don't you see it? Gulingua looked back there again, and suddenly a creepy feeling rushed over her head. Without any further thought or explanation, Gulingua dropped the bricks and ran away. You. The middle-aged woman subconsciously grabbed Gulingua's clothes and wanted to ask her why she was running away. As soon as he was caught, Gulingua suddenly woke up. She clenched her fists and turned back with bloodshot eyes. No matter what the reason is, you are following me now. If you run away, at most you won't have dinner today. If you don't run, you may not have to eat in the future. Perhaps frightened by the crazy look in Gulingua's eyes, the middle-aged woman let go of Gulingua's clothes. This person is probably crazy. In the apocalypse, there are many crazy people. As someone who has finally managed to get into the position of person in charge, she doesn't want to try to provoke a lunatic. Then let's run together? Under Gulingua's gaze, the middle-aged woman had to choose to run first out of respect. She decided to run to the guards quickly and tell them the news that Gulingua was crazy. She's for the whole base. Other people on the construction site looked at the running middle-aged woman in surprise. Isn't it good to save energy? Without waiting for them to wonder for a long time, Gulingua walked up to them, pulled them with serious faces, and asked them to run too. Are you crazy? People looked left and right, and through eye contact, they quickly came to a conclusion. It is very unsafe for them to have a psycho moving around freely in the construction site. No matter who she is, subdue her first. So, while they smiled and agreed, they began to slowly approach Gulingua. Any normal person would know that they wanted to take advantage of him and strike quickly. Seeing those people slowly approaching with malicious intent, Gulingua's eyes became even crazier, but her choice was to retreat. Those people quickened their pace, and Gulingua ran away. Quick! Don't let that lunatic get away! After hearing their words, Gulingua ran faster. The more Guling ran, the more those people followed him excitedly. The scene of one escaping and many chasing seemed very cheerful. The commotion at the construction site soon attracted the attention of the patrol. The well-trained guards, who had 3 meals a day, easily caught the source of the commotion. It has been proven once again that an ordinary woman with no strength and 1 meal a day cannot escape the pursuit of the organization. Seeing that Gulingua was taken down, the middle-aged woman who ran away first jumped out again and slapped Gulingua in the face. I told you to scare me. The people who followed also laughed and laughed. Aunt Lee, who is not afraid of the sky or the earth, will be frightened by a mere lunatic? Gu Lingyue didn't care about the laughter of the people around her. She just wanted to run as fast as she could. She couldn't stay here. She felt that the danger was getting closer and closer. After turning around and joking with the crowd, the middle-aged woman looked back at Gu Lingyue, who's being pushed to the ground and struggling to crawl up. She even pretended to sigh. I think before she went crazy, she was still an honest, diligent, and responsible girl. Listening to the middle-aged woman, who looked like she was preparing for a tirade, the squad leader of the patrol frowned and said, "Just say a few words. I'll take the people away first." After saying that, he tied up Gu Lingyue's hands skillfully, pulled a few teammates to support the struggling Gu Lingyue, and walked towards the place where the organization specializes in dealing with mental illness. He also knows that there are many crazy people in the last days, and if he wants them all to regain their senses, the current organization simply cannot afford it. Therefore, the organization's approach is generally to lock it down for a few days. Within these few days, everything will be normal, and everything will be easy to say. If not, then I can only apologize. If human civilization wants to continue in the last days, crazy people can only be abandoned. The organization cannot risk the lives of many normal people for the sake of 1 or 2 lunatics. They are only responsible for human civilization. Chapter 4, Black Hole Abyss. Seeing Gu Lingyue being taken away by the patrol, the crowd dispersed. Today's mission has not been completed yet. Where can I waste my time? Every minute and every second in the last days is precious because you don't know whether you will still be alive in the next minute or the next second. Everyone who is still alive should plan for the future of mankind, not for anything else, just for myself to be able to live. Only in the last days can people deeply understand the meaning that humans are social animals and belong to society and civilization. Civilization is destroyed, and no individual can survive. Since recorded history, there has never been an era when mankind has been more united and industrious than in the last days. Because without unity and hard work, we cannot survive. When the middle-aged woman returned to the construction site, she inadvertently looked in the direction Gu Lingyue was looking at before. That direction seemed a little darker? Is it because of the light? Forget it. That girl named Gu kept looking there, and she went crazy. We can't follow in her footsteps. The middle-aged woman shook her head, came to the place where Gu Lingyue had moved bricks before, and started moving bricks. There is no other way. If one person leaves, someone will always have to take over her job. Zitzi Zizi. What sound? Tinnitus? Zitzi Zizi. Drip, drip, dash. Level 1 alert. Level 1 alert. Attention all units. Attention all units. There are abnormal energy reactions in the 3 directions of the number 2 engineering department building. At this moment, all places in the organization, except for the building group 3 of the number 2 engineering department, were operating rapidly with a rapid warning. Everyone in the organization knows that in the last days, every abnormality will cause 500% vigilance. Every energy anomaly must be prepared for the complete destruction of the entire base. Because accidents and death are the most common sights in the end of the world. While people in other places quickly gathered in response to the broadcast, the people in Construction Group 3 of the number 2 Engineering Department were still repeating what they had done many times. The broadcast seemed not to be heard here. Zitzi Zizi. The Department of Science and Technology, the Food Department, the Construction Department. Wait. Hey, that patrol over there. Yes, it's you. What are you doing? Watchman feels that the team has become increasingly difficult to lead recently, and ideological education work has become increasingly inadequate. The original intention of organizing patrols is to protect and be vigilant. But what is this team doing now? Bullying the weak. It's Lord Watcher. He's looking over. It's me he's looking at.
Wow.
He's coming over. Even with Gu Lingyue on his side, the patrol team leader stared at the Guardian with a serious face without any guilt. What are you doing? What has it been? Are you still thinking of bullying people? Do you still have the consciousness of being a human being? Why don't you put people down yet? Looking at his idol, the squad leader immediately revealed his nymphomaniac side. He responded in the softest and gentlest voice. Master Watcher. Fuck. What's going on? Watchman wonders if there is something wrong with his title. Why can someone shout so sentimentally? If this person were a girl, he would have endured it. But he was a 1.85 meter tall man. His scalp was numb, okay? The patrol team leader, who seemed unaware of the weird look on the Watcher's face, continued to look shy and looked at his male idol with tears in his eyes. Lord Guardian, listen to me. Put the person down first. Your Excellency, you are right. The patrol team leader looked at the Guardian with blurred eyes while leaving Gu Lingyue behind as quickly as possible. He felt that this little bitch must have affected the intimate relationship between Lord Watcher and him. Lord Watcher just looked away from himself. Captain. The teammates looked at themselves in disbelief. The usually gentle and reliable captain, but now he looks like a nymphomaniac. Don't you know that this is a very dangerous psychopath? Gu Lingyue, who had gained half of her freedom, immediately broke free of the other half. You can tie her hands, but you can't tie her running heart. Alas. Unfortunately, before he could even take 2 steps, he was tripped and pinned down by other members of the patrol team. Seeing that this patrol still refused to give up bullying the weak under his gaze, the Watchman looked angry, wondering if he was so good to them that they had forgotten his majesty. Master Watcher, it's not that we don't want to let her go. It's because she is a psychopath. She is probably related to the energy abnormality in the No. 2 engineering department. She is an extremely dangerous psychopath. The explanations of other members of the patrol team successfully caused the people around to quickly move away for dozens of meters. So far, not a single person from the 3rd construction team of the No. 2 engineering department has come out. You can't die in vain. Then why did you bring her here? There are too few people who think she has been trapped. How many times have I told you? We are only responsible for the majority of people who are sensible and still alive. You decide what to do. Others get on the bus in an orderly manner. The Watcher looked indifferent. Hearing the words of Lord Watcher, the members of the patrol team were a little at a loss. They brought people here because they wanted to have a direction for the high-level investigation, but what should they do now? Find a place to tie people up and kill them? What if she is innocent? What if the higher-ups ask again? Let her go? What if she causes sabotage? Forget it. Just throw her somewhere far away. The entire organization will be relocated anyway. If you throw it far away, it will just be a little troublesome to find. Zitzi Zizi.